Hey guys, Munashe Ali here from Angel Property Group. First of all, I just wanted to make sure that you guys are all staying at home and safe during lockdown. I know it's a crazy period we're in, but we're in it together, so let's stay safe together. This week I wanted to discuss just a little bit about how and where to find and source your own property deals, and in particular rent-to-rent deals. So make sure you comment, like and subscribe if you've enjoyed the content so far and if you continue to enjoy it. Right, so in my opinion, there are 5 main ways you can find and source and secure a rent-to-rent property deal. In this video, we're going to be covering them all. So the first strategy I would highly recommend, especially now during lockdown, many more of us are at home than ever before, is direct to vendor. Now, for those of you who don't know what direct to vendor means, it essentially means securing a deal without the help of any outside assistance directly through a landlord. Now, a lot of you might be asking, how do I do this? And the honest truth is there is no simple answer for securing a deal direct to vendor, and it can be a little bit of a painstaking process, but rest assured it's well worth the rewards. So, what you need to do first is identify the property you're looking for, or at least the address of the landlord who owns the property. Now, you can do this using the HMO register if you're looking for HMO specifically, and you can typically find these on your local council's website or on the housing section, or online. Easily Google the website "What do they know?" and type in HMO register freedom of information request with the location or area you're looking for, and usually 9 times out of 10 you will find the HMO register places and locations like York. I know you have to submit an application and you can view the list, but you have to view the list in person at the council. Now, usually when I haven't been able to obtain a property address using the council's website, I would turn to the freedom of information request on What Do They Know website for the HMO list. If this fails, there is a third option, guys, and this is identifying the address through good old-fashioned research, which essentially means identifying the area, locating where the HMOs are. You can do this by driving around or walking around and surveying the area, finding out which properties that you need, noting down the HMO's addresses, and then further contacting the landlords. And you can find the details of the landlords pretty easily by using Her Majesty's Land Registry by paying a small fee of £3. Now, be careful out there, guys. There are websites charging anything between £15 to £30. I've seen some for £60 for the title registry information. Check out Her Majesty's Land Registry, and you will find them and those details for only £3. The second strategy that I would once again highly recommend you use when sourcing property deals, and that I regularly use, is contacting estate agents and lettings agents. Now, there are a few steps you need to take before you approach an agent, and I'll break them down for you just now. So, the first step is to make sure you know exactly what you're going to say to them. So if it makes it a little easier for you, prepare a script, then you can recycle and use that with other agents. Make sure you know the address of the property you're looking for. Make sure you're asking the right questions, and present yourself in a professional manner. You know, use the correct grammar. The whole idea is to build, or the whole aim is to build a relationship with them, even if they might not want to work with you or have any deals that don't fit your criteria. Keep in mind, estate agents and lettings agents are people just like me and you, so they need to make sure they make their fees, they get paid. So when communicating with them, make sure you make it clear that you're not trying to take them out of the picture. Quite the opposite. You want to work with them, right? You want to build your portfolio as well as helping out as many landlords as possible that might be in difficult situations, ensuring that they still get paid, they still get their fees. Now, the third strategy you can use to find landlords and properties is through networking events. There are many companies out there that run local landlords networking events. There's the Residential Landlords Association that runs some, as well as the National Landlords Association. Now, most cities and towns have them once a month, and I would highly recommend you take the opportunity to register, sit in on some of the meetings, hear the landlords' concerns, their worries, their troubles and problems, and build relationships. Let them know who you are, what you do, and how you can help. It might not happen straight away, and this has happened to me, but it might take a year, and you'll receive a phone call from one of those landlords asking for your help. So just make sure you keep in touch with them all. Don't spam them, of course. Like, the last thing anybody hates is a constant phone, or every week a phone call, text message asking me about how's the property. Like, they don't need any of that. They are human beings, so let's have a human interaction and human relationships with them. And remember, guys, word travels fast within these groups and communities, so make sure you build a great rapport with them. Now, the fourth strategy is one I slightly touched on earlier, and that works best if you're looking at going through rent-to-rent or even as a landlord into social housing. The council is a great place for you to understand your area, the demand, and also the properties available and for what use. It's a great place to identify tenants for social housing, and it's guaranteed rent for landlords as long as you're okay with lower yields, but the safety and security of your property is going to be well looked after. So it's a win-win-win for a lot of people. The fifth and final strategy we're going to cover today, guys, is one a lot of you aren't as comfortable with using, and it's understandable the reasons why. And this is using sources. Now, using sources can be really positive. It cuts out the process of having to build relationships and network. Not everybody's cut out for it. And relatively, they're providing you with a done-for-you service. They find the property for you, they negotiate the property for you with the landlord, and then package it all with the terms already agreed, 3, 5, 7 years, right there for their fees. Now, of course, when choosing this strategy, it's imperative you take a moment to do your due diligence on these sources and confirm that their details are what they are before you sign over and pay anything. The only drawback to this can be the fees they offer, which these days is usually anything between $1,500 and $3,500 for a rent-to-rent, of course. You need to take into consideration that when you're working out your deal, that you consider make sure that your numbers make sense, right? So that means you'll make sure you're still profiting after X amount of months, even with the deal. So my rule of thumb is, if considering sourcing fees and deposits and the rent and utilities, everything, that's factoring all the costs, if I'm not profiting after 6 to 8 months, then it's not a deal that I'll typically look at investing in. But then again, and then you've got to consider again that if you were to do this yourself and invested the money without the sourcing fee, you could be profiting after 2 months. So just make sure you do your due diligence, guys, and work with the numbers you have. Work for what works for you. Now, I know we're all still in lockdown, so it's not as easy with very few landlords and networking events, but they are there online, and the councils and agents can still be contacted over the phone or via email. So if you found a property or are still looking, take this opportunity, start building as many relationships as you can with other investors, sources, estate agents, and landlords. And to sum up, in this video, guys, we spoke about the 5 main ways I find deals that you can use too. Number 1 is direct to vendor letters. Number 2 is contacting estate agents and building relationships with them. Number 3 is using local landlord networking events and online landlord e-networking events. Number 4 is contacting the council and specifically the HMO officer and building a great relationship with him or her. Number 5 is using a property source or a deal packager. Again, make sure you take good care in ensuring they are fully compliant and safeguarded, and make sure your due diligence is done. Now, the key word in this is due diligence. I hope this has been really useful and makes some of you struggling to find deals at the moment or just getting started some help. So please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and tune in next week for more crazy top tips. On a mental note, I just wanted to check in with you all. I know tensions are high and a lot of people have been laid off work, and the future might seem uncertain to some of you. But I wanted to send across a message of love, hope and support for anybody that wants to get started in their property journey, or maybe that someone that has already started and is looking for somebody that will listen to their issues and their hopes of providing a solution, and just to be there for you, you know. Now more than ever, with all the social distancing and isolation, has it felt more alone for a lot of people, not being able to socialize with their friends, their peers, and their loved ones. And I just wanted to say, guys, you're not alone, and we're all in this together. So don't hesitate to reach out to me on any one of my platforms. Take care, guys. Stay safe, protect our NHS, and keep surviving and thriving.